सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We studied what were the objections to unselfishness. Excuse me for a minute, please. We were studying the outcomes of unselfishness. First,
signal is showing red, so it seems that the internet is a bit weak. It might improve shortly, but it's showing red right now. We can see you and hear you, but the signal is showing it's a weak signal.
Is it showing better now?
It's yet showing red. It's better now. Yeah, it's better.
Okay, I changed the network. I'm also getting IT savvy now. Okay, so where were we? Outcomes of unselfishness. The first outcome, I mean, the biggest point about unselfishness, before I even start, is you know what? It's very strange and it's unbelievable. And if you don't believe me, I won't be surprised. However, I would like to say that I didn't come up with this bright and brilliant idea. This is what our scriptures say. So listen for what it's worth, and then decide for yourself whether you think it's right or wrong. You'd probably, through logic, decide it's wrong. But since our scriptures say it, may I make a suggestion that you try it out? Just try it out. It sounds entirely wrong, but just try it out. Okay, just say, our scriptures have come down 10,000 years, 10,000 years, people agreed with this. Maybe it's right. Let me just try. Because what it's saying is unbelievable. It's saying that anything that you may want in this world, you will get by becoming unselfish. That is why this topic is called the stuff of dreams and miracles. Who is going to believe this? Nobody's going to believe it. And yet, that's the truth. When you start getting it, you start seeing it all over the place, and then you think, why doesn't anybody else see this? Do it in the smallest way, in whatever way you can think of, just as a practice, just as an experiment, and see what happens. Just see what happens. You will think, it's a fluke. Do it again and again and again. And you will see what on earth is going on here. So it's the greatest secret. People are calling something else a secret. They don't get that this is the secret. This is what has been announced as the secret. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the chapters is called the secret, the royal secret. Yes, Prashant, that's the whole thing. We get frightened of it. You know, the example of Moses, he's frightened to catch that snake. He's terrified. That's what that thing is saying. He's terrified, as we will be, because we find that when we try to be unselfish, we are losing our individuality. We are losing something. It feels like that. But remember the law. Remember what the law is? It's spoken of in the Bhagavad Gita. Remember the law? In chapter 18, the sattvic pleasures begin as poison and end up as amrita, nectar. Rajasic pleasures begin as amrita, nectar, feels damn good, and ends up as poison. Amazing. Where is the scripture that chapter 18? It is amazing. Just try it. Try it one.
But you were saying that by unselfishness, our desires get fulfilled or we get the things we want. Then you were saying that it is not I who have said that, it is the scriptures. Where do the scriptures say that?
They say it everywhere, but you may want to read it in chapter 3, Bhagavad Gita. I mean, I don't even know which one to quote. When you ask me like that, I'm completely taken. Everywhere, over and over again, he says it.
Even,
Whenever you think
yeah, in chapter 3, he was saying that by yagya, everything we can get. But in yagya, it's not basically
then
unselfishness.
what is it?
That's
What
in
is it?
yagya you are contributing your part. Okay, so yeah, you do your part, and the universe will gift you whatever you want. Basically, yeah, that was the point of the
It's
script.
not you are doing your part. It is that you are working for the whole. That is unselfishness. It's not just I'm doing my part. Any mechanical person will do his part. It's not I'm doing my part. The more mechanical you are, the more I'm doing my part. What do you mean? You're working for the whole. That's what makes it yajna. You're working for the self. You're working for something beyond yourself. That's what makes it yajna. So it's hard to ask me where. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to answer this question. Where does it not say that? Every chapter, over and over again, he says. Everywhere you'll find it. So now, but chapter 3 spells it out. He says, you nourish the gods will nourish you. I mean, throughout, he goes on repeating. How many times will he say? But so, you can look it up for yourself. I ain't faking this. So, first thing that happens. So, just think of everything you want in this world, anything you want. Okay? And know that you will get this by unselfishness. Oh, wonderful, Bharat. See, nice, great. All the old students should give one verse where he says that. This world is not for the non-sacrificer. How then the other? How many verses? He went on and on and on and on. ये पागल लोगों को समझ में
Chapter
नहीं
4,
आता.
well, yeah, that's in chapter 4 end, towards the end. But ma'am, it doesn't say it directly. In chapter 3 is direct. But chapter 4, that was, I don't know, it means necessarily that.
What is sacrifice? It is the sacrifice of your likes and dislikes for a higher cause. So everywhere, whole thing says that, but we don't get it. Basically, what he wants to teach us is not unselfishness. What he wants to teach us is selflessness. But he cannot take you to selflessness unless he talks about unselfishness. Therefore, he says all this. The first step is become unselfish. Work for something beyond yourself. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. Very good, Momita. Everybody can give you one words from this class. What do you think? This class is full of Rati Maharatis. Each one can give you one verse. So everywhere he says that. Now, what will come if we are unselfish? It's difficult for us to grasp. That is the problem. But what will you get if you are unselfish? Unselfish means you're working for something beyond yourself. Nowadays, they use words like vision, purpose. We say unselfishness, oh, boring. But then if you say purpose, vision, then everybody says, yeah, correct. We should have a vision. And then what is their vision? That I will be CEO. Hey, Bhagwan, kya bole aap logon ko? What can we say? So, what is it that we have to do? Servant leadership. Yes, that also. What is it that we have to do? Work for something beyond yourself. If you are getting any position, you have to see yourself as the head servant. That is what you see yourself as. The person in the highest position is the person who has to be capable of the maximum service. That was the old joint families and all that. Why was he head of joint family? Because he was the most sacrificial. Then the top guy stopped being sacrificial. End result is there's no top guy and there's no family also. So these are the partial. You see what happened? I'll tell you a story. My own family. We used to be urban landlords many generations ago. We are basically from Mumbai. Okay, and this is our gaon. So we have always been here. We were the landlords. And we had, of course, land, but we had a business of tuna. This tuna business was one of the most successful businesses and, very well-known family, all that sort of stuff. So one of the ancestors, he passed away. He had 2 wives. Now this wife wanted, at that time, all the rich guys had 2 wives. So don't say, oh my God, your great-grandfather had 2 wives. They all had 2 wives. Main kya karu? They had it. Okay, so now this wife number 2 had son number 1. And wife number 2's son number 1, she wanted him to be when her husband passed away, she wanted him to be the heir apparent, basically. Same story everywhere, you'll see. But son number 1 of wife number 1 was the efficient guy, who was incidentally my grandfather. Now, so they just threw him out. I mean, they threw out means they gave him some few buildings and all that. And then what happened to that business? Shut down. It doesn't exist. If I ask you now, have you heard of this business? You won't know it. When the top guy is not the most sacrificial person, that thing doesn't exist. It's an incredible thing. It's a law that has to work. and it will work throughout. You see a country, you see a family, you see anything. The top guy has to be, you are. So when you get a top position, you have to know that that means I am the head servant. I am here to serve everybody else. If you forget this at any point, then God help you and God help your organization, whatever it is. It could be your organization, maybe as a parent, as a family, as a sports team. It doesn't matter where. But if you can live up to the idea of unselfishness, if you can look at something beyond it being a feather in your cap, it's not a feather in your cap that you're there. Elon Musk is a great example. But that I have no idea he's a great example for or against also, so I'm not going there. Yes, Gunjan?
Ma'am, how do we decide what is unselfish to do in a certain situation? Is there is being unselfish subjective, or it's like it could be same for everybody in a certain situation?
It is subjective, but there's a principle involved. Whatever is to the welfare of the maximum number of people, or the maximum number, becomes the more unselfish one. But it is also subjective. This is the principle. Now, how are you going to apply that principle becomes subjective? No? But there is also a discipline in this, that you can't start going and doing everything. So you have to primarily first choose what you're working for. You can't say, oh, now I must go and fight the war for India because that will help 1.3 billion people. No, you stick to your goal. What was your goal? Okay, what are you trying to do? What's your vision? What is your purpose on planet Earth? And you go by that. Now, when you're fixing that vision, you try to accommodate as much as you are inspired by. Not merely, oh, that, like some people live in their heads. They want to go change the whole world. Right. You should be inspired by it, and it should be realistic as far as you're realistic for you. Other people may think that you can't do it. You must think you can do it. And it must serve maximum number of people. And you are set on it. Now, every decision you take in your life will be based on whether or not, how is it impacting that final goal. So there's a whole bunch of things. You come tomorrow, then we will, tomorrow, there's the corporate talk on this very topic of ideals, as it so happens. So the more you can benefit, the more unselfish it is. But you have to be inspired by that, not in the air. You know what I'm saying? Some people are in the air. Oh, I love the whole world. What am I doing? I am scrolling my phone. That is not unselfishness. Okay, so your unselfishness must be seen in your acts. Not other people say, you must perform. Right? So all of this put together. Okay?
Yeah, so I have two questions now. One is, let's say if we see women's, right? They have always thought about their families, right? And they have not thought much about themselves, their own likes and dislikes. But if we see the women's of our from our grandparents or mothers, mostly of like most of them, they are in the houses, right? So they have not lived their life. So most of their lives they have lived unselfish, right? Being unselfish, but what they have got.
Well, I don't know how to answer your question because you made so many assumptions. You say a woman is looking after a family, so she's unselfish. Is she? Is she staying there because she is so dedicated to the family? Or is she staying there because she has no option? Would she stay there if she had options? Is she really staying there for those people, or is she staying there for her own self? I don't know. There's so many option variables you have in your question. I don't know how to answer it. Then another variable. Who told you these women suffer who have worked for their family? I know one lady. She was the grandmother of one of my friends. And she got married as a young girl. And she came into the family. And it was a joint, massive UP joint family. Okay, what did he call himself? Shastradhari Brahmin. So these guys were having a time of their lives. Okay, well, Shastradhari. No, weapons and Shastras. That's what they did. And also they were non-vegetarian and all sorts of things and nothing to do with Brahminism. She got married, young girl, 14, she got married. Okay, big joint family, massive. He took charge of that whole place and straightened everybody out. She was worshipped like a devi in that house. Because these kind of women, they serve the family. I mean, they won't take nonsense from anyone. They are the goddess. I don't know, when you are unselfish, you're genuinely doing it for the other person. Even if you whack the other person, he'll listen to you. And these were all these very violent gang, I can't say gangs of criminals, but they were there was no proper womanly influence in that house. She came and sorted the whole thing out. They made everybody straight over there. And the family benefited over the generations. They did very, very well. And she was the matriarch of it all. And whatever quarrels or anything between the family, she's the one who sorted it out always. And that's the role women played. So if you do it genuinely, unselfishly, you are not left behind. Oh, I'm at home. No such thing.
Okay, so there are
the best, huh?
so there are many other things that also accompany.
Yeah.
Okay. One more thing, previously what you were saying about how when we can set our goal, we try to serve as much people as we can. So let's say when a writer writes anything, right? I am not sure, or a poet when he writes the poem, does he really think about that how many people will benefit from this? I don't think so. I mean, so even and those works after many years, people sometimes when read them, they feel like, oh, what a great piece of writing. So, and to the writer or to the poet, it's their expression, true expression. So what you said, how is this fitting in this kind of situation?
When the unselfishness, what was it? Remember, by definition, it was your dedication to a higher cause. That is what. So, an artist, a painter, anybody like that, their dedication is to the art. So they just completely immersed in that. So their individuality is slowly negated. So from their mouths comes truth, and that's how it benefits so many people. Otherwise, you will say, what is the use of art? Who will benefit from art? How many people are benefiting? What is benefiting is the what should I say, transmutation of his personality. And then it comes out because of his dedication to his art. It finally, whatever he produces will benefit. We don't even know when and how and now, all of that. So it is that to that higher cause. What is his cause? His cause was that art or whatever it is that he thought he was working for. So definitely, like Buddha went out and found out the cause of sorrow, for instance. He's not thinking, oh, what is the number of people I will benefit? But he knows that if I know the answer to this question, I can solve this problem. But solve the problem for whom? Not just for myself, for everybody who wants to partake of. And so 5,000 years his words are being read.
Thank you.
Yes, Prashant?
Ma'am, I understand it's not unselfishness versus intellect. It's always the intellect. But when unselfishness comes, your goal is become big. I mean, from a small goal to a bigger, higher goal. There, how does we choose that intellect? Like, am I ready to choose this bigger goal? I'll have to be. I'm supposed to use my intellect right now. When the goal size also increases, right? How do I choose that goal?
It doesn't work like that, Prashant. It is that as you understand things in life, you begin to understand what is important, what is not important. Right? Your intellect gets it. And then once it gets it, how can it not work for that? It's not that you are saying, oh, let me make my goal bigger in life. You've put it quite mechanically. It's not like you're doing that. You're understanding a bigger vision, a bigger perception, and therefore you slowly start working towards it. And as you start working towards it, it gets more and more and more and more focused. So you're working for something and then slowly more and more focused. What exactly? It just unfolds itself to you. A goal is not a mechanical process. Okay, let us keep a target, 100 crores, then this. It's not like that. It unfolds itself to you, and your personality gets more and more dedicated to it over a period of time. So, what are you inspired by is what you should get into. What is it that moves you, deeply within, moves me? Go with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, Sartha?
Ma'am, why study this idea of unselfishness? Actually, the idea of a yagna is far better than this idea of unselfishness. First, I used to be obsessed with unselfishness and all. Here also, Gunjan, in her first example, she was in her mind, unselfishness was coming like the lady of the house is sacrificing for others. But in truth, she is also benefiting in that particular example. So in yagna, I am working for the whole, but I am also benefiting by working for that whole. But this unselfishness, this idea, this word always comes with the idea that I am doing everything for others without gaining anything for myself, which is different from the idea of yagna, so to say. So why study unselfishness so much as a chapter? I mean, we can just study yagna and that's it. I mean, why study unselfishness?
Yagna and unselfishness are synonymous.
But the very word it comes in everyone's mind like I am doing everything for the others without getting anything. This is how it translates unselfishness.
Okay, all misunderstandings can be removed if you read the text. Now we're doing it. Outcomes of unselfishness. We did, no? Last time we did. What did we do? We did selfish people are happy. We did what will happen to me. We already covered all that. You heard it, no, last time? So, number one objection, what will happen to me? Oh, मेरा तो बेड़ा पार होने वाला है इन लोगों के साथ. What will happen to me? Right? So we did that. All these are the objections people have towards unselfishness. These are not true. These are all misunderstandings, and we've dealt with them. Now, to understand that further, we'll do outcomes of unselfishness. क्या होने वाला है? Once you become
With regards to the book, obviously you are defining unselfishness and we are discussing on that, but in a general term, yagna would be a better term, right, than unselfishness?
not at all. Why? Not at all.
Because we are
One second. Don't go down that street. You want to replace unselfishness with yagna? Please go ahead. No problem. Now we can't discuss one word. You word use karo ki wo word. It's pointless discussion. It is all the book is printed. Ab change nahi hone wala. That word is what it is. So you can replace it with yagna if that helps you grasp the concept any better. But certainly it may not be true for everybody.
In terms of the book, it's perfect, but I'm talking in general way.
No, we can't. When you're in a technical subject, you can't say you can't use a technical word because other people, laymen, don't know what it means. That doesn't make sense. If you're reading it in a book, you must use the definition of the book. Momita, from the artist example, to the extent you act unselfishly for a higher cause, to that extent you speak the truth, and that benefits everybody. Is this a correct understanding? From the artist example, it is he has dissolved his personality in his art. So obviously, if you dissolve your personality, whatever comes out of you will be the truth. What prevents us from knowing the truth is the ego. If you dissolve your personality, truth is known. So,
sorry, I didn't understand, Jankish.
From the artist example, we can't say act unselfishly for a higher cause because that's like very karma yoga type. Artist example is to show how this is applicable across the board. So over there, we say that he has dissolved himself into his art, like a good singer or a good painter or a good thing. So now, whatever he expresses will express the truth because his personality is being dissolved.
But his higher cause is that art, right?
Yes, correct.
So to that extent, he is dissolving the ego.
Correct.
But not all artists are doing that. So to that extent, they are not able to speak the truth.
Yes, of course. How can you, if your personality is the curtain between you and the truth, no? So how will you know it? How will you know the truth when that personality is there? Yes, Prashant?
With respect to choosing an area where I can be unselfish, can it be an activity where I can try? Because obviously I don't have higher goals. Is that possible? No?
Why not? You have to do whatever inspires you. Whatever, it has to just come from within your heart. That's all that matters. And if the smallest step is better than the biggest intentions. So yes, of course. Narendra Singh Negi. You're muted. If you're saying anything, we can't hear you.
Janki ma'am, Hari Om. I'm little confused. Whatever one chooses in life. Newton never thought of the world. He just went after his cause and the world was helped. And our scripture also telling just do whatever you ought to do. And that is your beginning and end of all of it. So where is this goal has come in between? Now, like say Nachiketa has 3 boons. First boon, just keep my obligation. Second was sacrifice. Sacrifice is like part of his life in the world. His life is going to be better. But the ultimate goal was the Brahm Vidya. No? We have to focus ultimate who I am, not what I am, what I will, how much people I must help. From the highest point of view, helping or not helping doesn't matter. No?
I don't know how to answer your question because you questioned and you answered. So now मैं क्या बोलूं? What a beautiful answer you have given. Look at what Nachiketa did. Step number 1, look after my family. Deal with my immediate obligations. Step number 2, teach me yagna, teach me sacrifice that I may do for the entire community. Step number 3, Brahma Vidya. That's exactly what we are saying. Same thing. If you answer it also, now I'm left high and dry. मैं क्या बोलूं अब? You question भी है, answer भी है.
नहीं, one person is doing his normal obligation, his nitya karma, whatever he is doing it,
Hmm.
wherever, whatever situation he
Hmm.
is he not doing the part of, you say he's not selfless. And one he mentions selfless people are only those people either they are realized or they have this, fully dedicated to this goal. Then only they are selfless.
To this goal,
What about
only to the goal of self-realization.
goal of self-realization?
Brahma
Now,
Vidya.
all of us have this goal of self-realization. The spark may not be so high, but there is a goal of realization that I must ultimately get into my ultimate freedom. So now, if I get into this working for others, this thing, I will get into involvement. And involvement, mind, because mind will take its share of pleasure, share of joy. Mind is always ahead of intellect. However, understanding you may have, but your happiness will drive you to get your share of happiness. So you will get involved where whichever task you take in hand. Then
you can't say my goal is PhD. Why should I go from 5th standard to 6th standard? You have to. You will make the mistakes of 6th standard. Ab main kya karu? This will happen. You're right. You're right about everything. First, you are in 5th standard. You have to reach PhD. PhD is a goal, but it's not even very inspiring. Okay, I'm only somewhat interested. Now, how am I going to get there? From 5th, I go to 6th. From 6th, I go to 7th. At every stage, you will find difficulties. Difficulties means your mind will get involved. You will forget that you started going to PhD. Ab yahi baith gaye, yahi enjoy karne lage. All this will happen. It's a given. Then if you have a good guru, the guru will come and whack you. But if the guru whacks you at that stage, you will say, "Gee, these people claim to be Vedanta, but they get angry. Now what to do?" Nowadays, people judge the guru also. So they have no hope for themselves because who's going to tell them you're going off the path, buddy? So you're right. First, you have to be able to handle your daily obligation. Then you have to grow into unselfishness. Then you have to go to selflessness. Those are the stages. Yes. And that's why your question is what a sadhak would ask. Why will I go in there? I get totally involved. I know this is mithya. I know this is rubbish. You already told me it's rubbish and you're sending me in there. That is what Arjuna said to Krishna. So Krishna told him, Baba, karna hi hai. Koi yahan chara hi nahi hai. Because you cannot go to PhD until you go from 5th to 6th to 7th. Karna hi padega. What can I do? They told him, right? You can't escape action by escaping from action. You cannot become selfless from selfish. You have to go selfish, unselfish, selfless. It says, if you think knowledge is better than action, Tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojasi keshava. Why are you telling me to do this ghora karma? Horrible karma, at least here you're told unselfish. Arjuna is saying, you are saying jnana is better than karma. Tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojasi keshava. मेरे लिए कर्मा क्यों नियोजित कर रहे हो? You are on one side saying jnana is good. On the other side, you are saying karma is good. Make up your mind, buddy. Once you say go to Brahma Vidya, once you say go and do unselfish, make up your mind which one. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhi janardana. Tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me. My buddhi is in moha. Tadekam. Tat ekam. Vada nishchitya. Give me one word. Yena shreyoham apnuya. By which I will gain shreya. So you reached Arjuna's level. Now you proceed. You're asking same question. Making me do an action when you know fully well I'm going to get involved. Yes, you're going to get involved. You have to do it anyway. Try to not get involved. Use your intellect.
Thank you.
Okay, now none of y'all seem to want to even learn what are the outcomes of unselfishness.
Ma'am,
Oh, okay. Again,
just small question, ma'am. Why in Vedanta, why is number being discussed? Like why like the number of people, the maximum number of people that are held, the better is the action. Suppose it's
Wait,
like
just
a
finish.
very weird
Finish. Question over.
Okay.
If it is not answered, then you can give an explanation. Number is given because we always try to make a conceptual thing in less abstract. So when you're understanding the concept, you try to make it more concrete. So you say, okay, see how many people are going to be benefited. But actually, it's not even people. You could benefit science, you could benefit art, you can benefit any amount of things. But it's as it is complicated. So you start with saying, okay, let's see what's the maximum good I can do to the maximum number of people. Then somebody say, why not animals? Arey baba, animals. What is the maximum good you can do to the maximum number of animals? You make it concrete, but the principle stays the same. The effect of your goodness is to whom? When I am good at a selfish level, the effect of my goodness is only on my physical body. On my tongue, I like something, I ate it. The effect of my goodness is there. I like something, I heard it. The effect of my goodness is here. That's it. How much can you spread it? How much can you spread it? Now take somebody like Buddha. If he attains enlightenment, he went out in search of one question. What is the solution to sorrow? He benefited any amount of people. And animals, and plants, and environment.
Yeah, ma'am, your first line was satisfying itself, that to make it more concrete, it's an abstract concept. You make it more concrete, but if you are taking the whole universe as a whole, one entity, then you will not go in this number and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. If you understand it, then you don't have to ask the question. You understand it. It was step by step, no, in any education. Otherwise, it's a confusion. Oh, what is it? Step by step, we proceed. It's really very simple. Momita, it feels like I'm being unselfish for the selfish goal of enlightenment. No, the goal of enlightenment can never be selfish, because selfish is what you do for your body or for your mind or for your intellect. Selfless means it is not for your body. Unselfish means it is not for your body, mind, intellect, but for another's body, mind, intellect. Selfless means it is not for your body, mind, intellect. It's not even for anybody else's body, mind, intellect. It is for something beyond body, mind, intellect. Deep Raj. A lot people don't want to do the text only today. And then on YouTube, people will start commenting. This whole class went in questions, and they are themselves charged of asking too many questions. A lot of people criticize Buddha for leaving his family to pursue enlightenment, in line with Momita's comment. Who are these people who criticize Buddha? Are they have they done anything better in their lives? That is a question to ask. It's a very, very strange thing that we always feel we are quite justified in criticizing people. I may have, see, Deepraj, if you realize the South, okay, and then generations after you are shown the path because you realize the South. But then all I remember is that day I told Deepraj, get me a glass of water. He didn't bring it. Then ये पागलपन मेरा है कि is, it's so silly. We don't seem to get it. So therefore we are a lot. Say when we don't have an intellect, how are you going to do discrimination? Did Buddha do something sensible or not? You need an intellect to be able to tell. If I'm irritated with my husband because he's ignoring me, I'm going to say Buddha is a bad guy. It's got nothing to do with Buddha. See, that's how the human mind works, because I feel, see, he's behaving badly and Buddha behaved badly and he's trying to do Buddha. So it's all very, very personal, and, there's no discrimination function. It's like a man goes to war to protect his country, and somebody says, oh, you left your pregnant wife at home. But now, shall I look after my pregnant wife or shall I look after? He says, no, he should look after his pregnant wife. You don't understand that you are the person he went there to look after, and you're criticizing him. So okay, Momita. Okay, is that thing that basically people do, but their discrimination is, in the text, actually in Vedanta or Vedas also, not just Vedanta. You are supposed to have memorized the whole thing before you can open your mouth and say anything. And in the debates, you are supposed to know the other paksha, the other side, as well as you know yours. Otherwise, not allowed to debate with me. That is why today people are all fighting straw men, because nobody takes the trouble to understand the other person's point of view. Right? So we had a culture that tried to develop the intellect, and largely and did very well in terms of its success, I would say. But today, who is trying to develop an intellect? Who knows that the intellect should be developed? So again, trying to develop, so dur ki baat hai. Sorry, Wendy, I'm speaking too much Hindi today. Do you understand any Hindi at all? No?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry.
But I'm getting the gist of what you're saying, don't worry.
So basically, nobody thinks that I need discrimination. Nobody thinks this, that I need it. And I have to do whatever I need to do to get it. And that is the highest priority in my life. First, I must get discrimination, then everything else will take care of itself. That is not there. So consequences, no discrimination. Consequences, stupid discrimination. Consequences, quarrels. Consequences, war. Now, what do you say? Do we really need to go to war? Are we so backward that we can't sit across the table and say, okay, what is it you want? What is it I want? What's the best deal we can have here? It may not be optimal. It could be suboptimal for both of us, but whatever it is, what's the best we can do? We're too backward to do that. We're too uncivilized to do this. And how would we get civilized if nobody is working on developing an intellect? So we are where we are. We'll slowly blow ourselves up. What to do? Then incidentally, Mahesh, his wife became his disciple ultimately, so she valued his teachings above his leaving her. Yes, she did. She came back for them, as you know the story is, he came back. But he didn't come back as a husband, he came back as somebody who had something to offer her more than what a husband could have offered her. And she and her son, Rahul, right? What was his son's name? Adopted that path. So they were not anti him, but today's people are anti him. They accepted him as the guru and went with him. People still insist on feeling sad for her and their son, who also attained enlightenment, apparently following in his father's footsteps. Okay, I didn't know that he did, but yeah, he must have definitely grown if he has taken up that path. Okay. Now, do you all want to study the outcomes of unselfishness, this stuff of dreams and miracles. But the first line only is unbelievable. I'll become unselfish, and then there's the stuff of dreams and miracles. Promising too much. Keep it believable. So what is the first outcome of unselfish? The byproducts of being unselfish are many. Here are some. These are byproducts, okay? Nobody wanted any of this. The people, the irony is the people who want this are not getting it, and the people who don't want it are getting it. That's the irony of life. People are dying for leadership positions, dying for it, and so disappointed in their lives that they're not getting it. People want positions of power. We aspire to be the CEO or the prime minister or maybe the president of the local club. What delivers that position is the inspiration to work for the welfare of the group. How difficult is this to understand? What delivers? You want to be CEO, you want to be prime minister, you want to be president of the Rotary Club, whatever on earth you want to be. What delivers that position is the inspiration to work for the welfare of that group. When you are inspired to work for the welfare of the group, people will come and push that position on you. You don't worry about it. These are shadows, they'll follow you. Such a person garners the support of people. People will willingly make sacrifices for such a person. Do you realize that? The kind of sacrifices people have made for people who have a vision in life. If you look at Gandhi or Mother Teresa or Joan of Arc, or their followers would give their lives for those people. Shivaji's story, I don't know if you're familiar. Gad ala and Singha Gela. Remember, you know the story? So Sinhagad was in the hands of the Mughals. And they had to get it back because they were trying to get freedom from the foreign forces. So his general was Tanaji. He stood there and died in standing there in trying to, in following whatever their strategy was. He was to be there and do something. He did it, he died there. I mean, who gives up their life for their boss? Like, so Shivaji's famous words after that is Gad ala Pansimha Gela. Gad is the fort. Gad ala, Gad, the fort came. Simha Gela, the lion went. Because the name of the fort is Simhagad. So imagine what kind of dedication, what kind of commitment people like this got from their followers. People give up their lives for them. For what? Even Churchill, when he was inspired, okay, when he was inspired to work for the Brits during the war, he told them, what is his promise to them? Blood and sweat and toil and tears. And the country followed him. And the moment he forgot that and he started doing foolish things, he lost his position. He promised them. Here we are saying, see, be unselfish. Such nice things will happen to you. Those leaders say, you follow me, you will die, you will suffer. And they follow them. Gandhi told people, no, let them beat you. You don't do anything. And people lay down and got beaten. Can you even believe this? I mean, it's like stuff of legends, right? The stuff of dreams and miracles. I'm not making this up, these are real stories. I'm not making all this stuff up. So, people willingly make sacrifices for such a person. Followers will be dedicated to him or her. Hence, the primary quality of leadership is having a higher purpose. Doubts vanish, decisive action emanates. People look up to such a person for guidance as his vision is clear. Unselfishness is that magic wand of fairy stories that makes everything possible. Ah, if only we knew its powers, we would never give a thought to anything else. Why do you think it's the heavenly pure angels who are said to have that magic wand? When we work for the welfare of the world serves us. Nature serves us. Miraculous events take place. Objects materialize out of thin air, as it were. Manna falls from the high heavens. Sounds fantastic, isn't it? It is. No, fantastic means a matter of fantasy. You read in the Bible, they went into the desert and manna fell from heaven. Well, no, it's not. What nonsense are you talking? It happened. Joan of Arc went to fight the might of the British Empire, and she won the thing. It's crazy. In partition, more people died in the World War, yet everyone praises Gandhiji. He was too agreeable. Subhash Chandra should have been the father of the nation instead. Don't go to another point, Sarthak. Focus on this. The fact is that he had his vision, rightly or wrongly, whatever. And people laid down their lives for him. Now, of course, people will make mistakes. People can get involved. They can go off the path. So many things can happen. But when they did it right, they got brilliant results. They got results beyond what anyone can conceive in their wildest dreams. But we are stuck in this cocoon of ours and we just can't seem to leave because you're not inspired by anything. My life is only like something petty, अच्छा मेरे फैमिली वाले हैं, मेरा काम है, हेल्थ की चीजें हैं, 4-5 things. That's it. No vision beyond this thing. Crazy stuff. And who is suffering because of it? You yourself. Burst forth from this. Burst forth means allow yourself to be inspired by something great. Say, forget it. Let my life be useless. Let me not get anything. Let me do something useful in this world before I go. Forget it. I don't want to think about myself. And the moment you say, not moment, you will suffer after that. But because you'll be tested, right? It's not like, oh, you said it and now sab hone wala hai. You'll get your test. It'll be difficult. Go through that difficulty. But be clear what you're doing. You do it. Yes, Bharat?
So this point about followers being dedicated to their leaders, isn't it the responsibility of a follower also to question the leader's decisions? Because even Hitler had a lot of followers.
Hitler didn't have followers. Hitler promised them that they will all get a lot of stuff and they were following whatever he had promised that they were going to get. So that's not what we're talking about. Of course, followers have to have to be alert and not be stupid. That is true, but you all are, sort of catching hold of the wrong end of the stick. The fact is that if a person is, the law is, if you are dedicated to the higher, you will find people will just follow through with the same or similar levels of sacrifice. The most simple example is who Amarinder gave us, no? Last time that example also he said, okay, you people are not organizing anything. I will only give the food. I will bring the food. And then other people started bringing it as well. Now you shouldn't say, oh, why did they just follow him? They should have questioned whether or not it is correct to take food for everybody. It's not so complicated. Simple stuff. You think this is worthy of being done, do it. Momita. Conversely, when we are petty, we lose without realizing. Yes, very good point. As a newcomer to a religious sect, all complaints about another were met with pray for their happiness. Even that prayer was so tough, but when they did it, things changed for them. Yes. I assume you mean, yeah, pray for their happiness. So, yeah.
Yeah.
As a newcomer, all complaints were met with pray for their happiness. Yes, because half our problems in life are because we see so much otherness with the other. And the moment you pray for them, that otherness goes. So you begin to understand they have a point of view. So Bharat has an announcement for us. Go ahead, Bharat.
Yes, Hari Om everyone. Mahesh, can you put up the flyer, please? So, reminder for the corporate talk happening tomorrow, 12 noon. The details have been shared on the group. It's meant for people in the corporate world and the business world. So if you happen to know people, please pass on the details. Thank you.
All right. So that's it for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Janki ji. Thank you. Thank you, Janki ji.
Hari Om, Janki
Thank
ji.
you, Janki.